Welcome everyone to another Train Tuesday. I'm so glad you can join us. If you like the content that you're seeing on the Athearn Train Tuesday, do us a favor and go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. And once you're subscribed, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified every time a new video like this drops into our channel. We're going to be talking Athearn HO as well as Athearn Roundhouse HO. And we're going to be talking about the ALCO RS3 as well as some pretty unique box cars you can add to your Roundhouse collection. So without further ado, let's go get started with some model train goodness. We're going to start out with the ALCO RS3. Now the ALCO RS3, of course, was a 1600 horsepower BB diesel electric locomotive, and it was manufactured from May 1950 to August 1956 by American Locomotive Company and its subsidiary, the Montreal Locomotive Works. A total of 1,418 were produced. 1,265 were for American roads, 98 for Canadian railroads, and 48 for Brazilian railroads, and 7 for Mexican railroads. So obviously a popular locomotive. Now the RS3 greatly resembled the RS1 and the RS2, but it had 100 more horsepower thanks to its 12-cylinder 1600 horsepower ALCO Model 244 engine. It also had some changes to the fuel system and body shape. Now, much like RS1s, many RS3s served for decades, and some are actually still in service today, testament to its design. Now, the locomotive that you see on your screen now, this one is currently in stock. In fact, we just got delivery of them about a month or so ago, right after the Rocky Mountain Train Show. This is an RS3 painted up for New Haven number 560, and again, it's in stock. So if you're looking for a New Haven locomotive to add to your roster, this item number is ATH28775. Again, it's ATH28775, and that is currently available as well as some other Athearn RS3s. So check your dealer to see if your favorite road number in road is available right now. Now let's talk about what we're going to be offering for the month of June. You have until Friday, June 28th, to place your pre-orders. We're going to start with Long Island Railroad. This is a 1962 era paint scheme. Long Island Railroad 1519 through 1520 arrived on the property in 1962. They came from the Delaware and Hudson and wore the Dashing Dan logo on their flanks. Long Island fans will know right away, though, that these locomotives were not RS3s, but actually RS2s. Because the former D&H RS2s appear to be a later phase RS2, with equipment boxes along the short hood similar to an RS3, Athearn Development wanted to offer a paint scheme that is not currently available to fans of Long Island Railroad. We think that the Long Island Rail fans will enjoy detailing these models into the appropriate prototype, or just leave them as is for suitable stand-ins. So again, even though the Athearn models in RS3, the Long Island Railroad locomotives 1519 and 1520 that we're showing, they're technically RS2s. They came from the Delaware and Hudson. Now, if you look at those pictures and go ahead and search those on the search engine of your choice, you'll see that they look remarkably close, and to the untrained eye, can be fooled into thinking they are RS3s when in fact they are RS2s. However, because of the former D&H units, we think that with just the right amount of kit bashing, the hardcore guys can go ahead and make these actual RS2s, while some of you may just want an appropriate stand-in. This is a paint scheme that is not available currently. Now, the features specifically for Long Island are going to include steam generator, single beam lights, water-cooled turbocharger exhaust, and flat pilot plates. And again, we're offering 2 road numbers for this 1962 scheme, 1519 and 1520. Up next, we're going to be offering 3 different road numbers for the Southern Railway. This is 1960s era Southern Railway and that beautiful tuxedo paint scheme. Several of Southern RS3s were sublettered for the Cincinnati, New Orleans, and Texas and Pacific Railway. We're going to be offering road numbers 6214, 6218, and 6222. Features specifically for the Southern Railway, they're going to have steam generators, single beam lights, water-cooled turbocharger exhaust, and flat pilot plates. Missouri Pacific guys, I know you've been waiting for these. These are a 1960s era locomotive, and Mopac purchased the RS3 loco in 1951, and they were long-lived on the railroad thanks to the extensive rebuild program that the Missouri Pacific performed on these in the 1970s. Now we're offering these as they appeared in the 1960s. We're offering 3 different road numbers each. Missouri Pacific 963 is on your screen now, but we'll also offer 965 and 992. Features on Missouri Pacific units will include a water-cooled turbocharger exhaust, dual beam lights, and flat pilot plates. Jumping up to the 1980s, and an interesting railroad here, the Susquehanna. Again, 1980s. So in the 1980s, the Susquehanna was one of the few railroads still operating RS3s, making them a popular target for rail fans in that area. They really were. There was a lot of pictures taken of these locomotives that could be seen in a lot of the railroad publications of the day. And if you do yourself a favor and do a quick search, you'll still find a lot of these pictures from that era. We're going to be offering 2 road numbers for the Susquehanna. We're going to offer 101 and 104. Now, the features of the Susquehanna RS3s are, depending on the road number, a single or a beam light per road number. So you got to check that out. Go to athearn.com, check out the new announcements tab, and look up the RS3s, and you can see those differences for yourself. They're also going to have water-cooled turbocharger exhaust and flat pilot plates. Another one that we've been getting requests for as far as a road is Western Maryland. Now, these are 1950s era Western Maryland. Western Maryland class DS-23s were delivered in 1953 and 1954. Now, these units actually replaced 280s on the Elkins division and were also found in passenger service. Quite often, these Alcos were replacing smaller locomotives in branch line or smaller passenger service, and here is no exception. We're going to be offering 2 road numbers for the Western Maryland, 185 that you see on your screen there, as well as 187. The features for Western Maryland include single beam lights, water-cooled turbocharger exhaust, pointed pilot plates. And then finally, we have the Athearn and Southern. This is another 1950s era paint scheme, formerly a subsidiary of the Aluminum Company of America, or ALCOA. The Athearn and Southern is a switching railroad serving the greater St. Louis area in Illinois. We're going to be offering 3 different road numbers for the Athearn and Southern. Here you see number 43, but we're also going to offer number 44 and 45. Features specific to the Athearn and Southern RS3 include single beam lights, water-cooled turbocharger exhaust, open pilot plates, and an operating beacon if you go with the economy DCC sound version. Now let's go back to our New Haven example to talk about the features overall of these locomotives. Now these are going to have a newly designed can motor. They're much more powerful and quieter than previous iterations. Also, DCC ready versions will feature the quick plug and play technology with a 21-pin NEM connector. DCC and sound equipped models will come with the economy sound and a cube speaker. There's also going to be LED lighting for long life and reliable operation, metal grab irons, large or small fuel tank per the prototype, see-through etched metal radiator fan and cab windows, and of course, fine scale handrails. So if one of these roads is a road that you model, and perhaps you're modeling in the 1950s or 1960s, or in the case of the Susquehanna, the 1980s, you're going to want to pick these up through your favorite dealer before Friday the 28th. Next, we're going to switch gears and go to Roundhouse, and we're going to go to an HO model. Now this is the Athearn Roundhouse 50-foot exterior post high cube plug door box car. That's a mouthful, but these important box cars can be seen throughout the country, even in today's world. Now, the Roundhouse 50-foot high cube plug door boxcar is based on a common type of boxcar that began appearing in large numbers in the late 1970s. Such cars required greater overhead clearance to operate safely, but boasted greater cubic capacity and comparable standard height cars. These cars commonly hauled canned goods, finished rolls of paper, appliances, furniture, and lumber. So if you're an operations guy, you could probably already think of a few different industries on your layout that could benefit by one of these cars. Now, the car that you see on your screen here, this is an example from an earlier run. They may or may not be available depending on your dealer, but in case you do like this car, this is a CRLE car number 119766. The item number for this is RND 1516. Again, item number is RND 1516. Now, all the cars that we're going to be offering in this run are going to be available in 3 different road numbers, and we'll go through those road numbers just so you know there's no duplications. We're going to start in 1970s era Rio Grande. The car that you see on your screen now, reporting marks, of course, are DRGW. The number is 91886. Additionally, we're going to offer 2 other cars, 91890 as well as 91895. Coming up to more current status, this is a 2020 era paint scheme, is the Nebraska, Kansas, and Colorado RailNet. Now, their reporting marks are NKCR, and the car that you see on your screen here is road number 50333. 2 more cars just like this with non-duplicating road numbers are being offered, including 50345 and 50358. Coming up into 1978, we've got Conrail. Conrail's reporting marks, of course, are CR, and this is car number 164366. Additionally, car numbers 164371 and 164379 will also be offered. We're not done there, though. We've still got some more eras to talk about. Coming up at the top of your screen, you'll see this St. Lawrence and Atlantic Railroad. This is a 2000s era boxcar. Their reporting marks are SLR, and the road number for this car is 3014. Additionally, we'll offer car numbers 3015 and 3017. Another recent car, 2017 era, is the Mississippi-Tennessee Railroad that you see in the middle of your screen. Their reporting marks are MTNR, and the road number for this is 175500. Additionally, we'll offer car numbers 175561 and 175576. Finally, for 1971 era, we have the Frisco car. Their reporting marks SLSR, and this is road number 600006. We're also going to offer car numbers 600120 and 600157. Now let's talk a little bit about the details of this Roundhouse car. Now remember, these have molded on parts. They're made for economical reasons or younger modelers. A lot of guys do like to use these in prototype operations, however, because there's not as many detail parts to get lost or broken. These will have a separate brake wheel. They will have body-mounted McHenry operating scale knuckle couplers. They do include machine metal wheels with RP25 contours, and of course they are weighted for optimum performance. You don't have to worry about these cars. They're fully assembled, they're ready to run, and despite the fact that they are Roundhouse, they are still highly detailed with an injection molded body. They're painted and printed for realistic decoration. These are all based on actual freight cars of these eras that we've talked about, and the minimum radius that these cars can operate is 18 inches. So these cars will work on most modules, most layouts without any issues whatsoever. Now, like I said, you only have until Friday, June 28th to place your pre-orders on either the ALCO RS3s that we talked about or these highly anticipated Roundhouse box cars. Now again, we do have some of those RS3s for the previous run, and those do include the new motor that we talked about. Those are out there now, so if you think you've missed them, check again. They are available at your dealer as well at Athearn.com. So that's all I've got for you on this episode of Train Tuesday. I want to thank you for joining me. Again, if you like the content of Train Tuesday or the other videos that we do here at Athearn, please do us a favor and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And you know what? Go ahead and give us a comment. I try to watch those comments and I respond to them. And we always want to hear back from you. Again, if you have some suggestions for railroad lines that you'd like to see or even new models, you can reach us by emailing us at athearn-productsuggestions@athearn.com. Again, that's athearn-productsuggestions@athearn.com. Well, that's all I've got for you this time. Until next time, everyone, get out there, do some modeling. It's warm out, do some rail fanning as well. Hit some train shows, do some good modeling, and above all, high greens. Take care, everyone.